Now, they'll take this news conference. I'm actually having a very good time, okay? But they'll take this news conference. Don't forget, that's the way I won. Remember, I used to give you a news conference every time I made a speech, which was like every day, okay? No, that's how I won. I won with news conference and probably speeches. I certainly didn't win by people listening to you people, that's for sure. But I'm having a good time. Tomorrow they will say, Donald Trump rants and raves at the press. I'm not ranting and raving. I'm just telling you, you're dishonest people. But I'm not ranting and raving. I love this. I'm having a good time doing it. But tomorrow the headlines are going to be Donald Trump rants and raves. I'm not ranting and raving.
That was just part of President Trump's surprise news conference Thursday afternoon. He used it to announce his new labor secretary pick, but spent much of it defending his first 4 weeks in office. The president hit on the U.S. relationship with Russia, intelligence leaks, and what he called, quote, fake news. For more on this is Associated Press White House reporter Vivian Salama. She joins me now from Washington. Vivian, thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
So you cover the White House, and this news conference, it's interesting, was pretty hastily arranged. What stood out to you?
There were a number of things, really. Just the fact that he was engaging so much with the media in terms of saying that he wants to build a better relationship with them, that he may not build a better relationship with them. He really explored sort of whether the media played a role in his victory. And a number of different things. He also addressed extensively accusations that he and or several members of his administration, his advisors, had dealings with Russia, whether during the campaign or currently. He was very outspoken about that. He staunchly denied any accusations that he himself has had any contact with the Russians. And he really addressed at great length National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who handed in his resignation Monday night, talking about the circumstances surrounding his resignation and contacts with the Russian ambassador.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that. That's the story, really, that's dominated the news this week, is that the president knew weeks before his ousting that his national security advisor had misled Vice President Pence about his phone calls with the Russian ambassador. Here's what he said about Mike Flynn Thursday.
Mike Flynn is a fine person, and I asked for his resignation. He respectfully gave it. He is a man who, there was a certain amount of information given to Vice President Pence, who's with us today, and I was not happy with the way that information was given. He didn't have to do that because what he did wasn't wrong. What he did in terms of the information he saw, what was wrong was the way that other people, including yourselves in this room, were given that information. Because that was classified information, it was given illegally. That's the real problem.
So this was so fascinating to hear, Vivian, because the president says that Michael Flynn, what he did wasn't wrong. And it was a defense, essentially, of his former national security advisor, except that it was the president who decided it was time for his national security advisor to go. What did you make of that?
That's correct. And he even went on to say that he thinks that Michael Flynn was just doing his job. He said that he did not actually ask him whether he should reach out to the Russian ambassador or not to have those discussions, but that he would have said okay if that were the case, because his job was to reach out to foreign dignitaries and diplomats. And so he really stressed upon that point. But he said that really the straw that broke the camel's back was this misleading of Vice President Mike Pence, that was really where he said that enough was enough and that he couldn't stand for it any longer, and started to really think that it was time for General Michael Flynn to hand in his resignation. And so Trump did request that. President Trump did request that on Monday, as far as we know. And the rest of it is history at this point. He immediately did that late Monday night. Now, what you just played was really sort of what we began to see yesterday during President Trump's joint press conference with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, where he really deflected a bit from the topic because he wants to stress the fact that a lot of these revelations are coming out due to leaks in the media he says that he calls them illegal leaks that of classified information. He's been tweeting about this for the past couple of days as well, saying that this really has to be investigated and that there is a major problem going on in the intelligence community and in the media with these illegal leaks, and it's something that is creating an even bigger problem than the one at hand.
Yeah, and Vivian, you've been reporting on this. You reported that the Trump administration had been asking a billionaire businessman to crack down on this steady drip of classified information, but the president seemed to back off on that during his news conference. What can you tell us about that?
So that's right. Steven Feinberg, who's the heads up a private equity firm in New York, has been asked to lead a review of the intelligence community. Now, the administration is very careful about how they're phrasing it. They're putting it from a more business-oriented standpoint, not in the sense that they're looking to crack down on leaks or to overhaul the agencies in terms of the way that they collect intelligence data per se, but really that they're trying to target efficiencies in the agencies and how they communicate with each other and things like that. So President Trump made very brief remarks at the press conference today. He did acknowledge that indeed Mr. Feinberg has been asked to do this. Now, this gentleman has been an economic advisor for the Trump team since the campaign, since back in August, and so he's not a new face to the administration, but this new role is going to be very interesting. A lot of people on Capitol Hill especially raising some concern to say that he doesn't have an intelligence background, and so it's going to be interesting to see really how he approaches this issue, given the fact that he is more on the business and financial side of things and not an intelligence official.
All right, a lot to watch. Vivian Salama from the Associated Press, thanks so much.
Thank you.